This is another Monarch Snapshot video. Wordstock app. Hello, I'm Jennifer Wenzel, a Technology Product Specialist at APH. And today I want to tell you about the Wordstock app that was just recently released for the Monarch. This is an exciting app for me because I love word games. So we're going to go to the All Applications. I'm going to use point and click to go there.
Main menu, all apps. Braille terminal.
And I'm going to use a W for Wordstock.
Wing it M.
And of course, the first one is Wing It.
Wordstock.
The next W is Wordstock. So I'm going to use Enter.
Wordstock.
And you get this really nice splash screen when you first start that has the raised print for Wordstock. It has a cool little symbol on the right that's like a circle with some lines, and it's pretty cool. I think it's a peace sign, actually, kind of looking symbol. And then in Braille, it says Wordstock, and it says press Enter. So that's what I'm going to do.
Wordstock. Word of the day.
Now, when you open Wordstock for the very first time, you will be put in the Wordstock tutorial that will give you all kinds of great directions about how to play, and you're able to use your panning key to continue through that tutorial and learn all about it. And if you ever need to access that again, that is the last choice in this menu that I've now opened up that says how to play, and that's when you can always access the tutorial. If you are put in the tutorial and you don't want to use the tutorial, you can use space plus S for stop, to stop the tutorial. So what I'm presented with here is a menu, and the first choice is word of the day. Then there's previous days. There's dictionary 5, which is a dictionary word bank of 5-letter words. So word of the day and the previous days, you would need to be online to play. And then the dictionary 5, you can play offline through a word bank of 5-letter words. Dictionary 4 is very similar to dictionary 5, but it is for 4-letter words, and it's also playable offline, and you use a word bank of 4-letter words. And then there are statistics, and then you can send or load your stats. You can reset your player statistics, and the last choice is how to play. But we're not going to go to how to play right now because I'm going to show you how to play. But if you ever need to access that, that is where you would go. So I will use word of the day just to show you how to play. We could have used any of the choices, but we'll go into word of the day. So I'm focused there. My little focus symbol is on word of the day, and I'm going to push Enter.
Press Enter to guess.
And so it's telling me to press Enter to guess, and it also says that in Braille. And then it just has the word guessed at the bottom, but nothing's filled in there because I haven't guessed anything yet. So I'm going to push Enter.
5 letters max, absent characters, present characters, edit box, press Enter.
And so there's an edit box, and it tells me to press Enter, which I will do once I have typed in a guess. And right now it has present and absent characters, but there's nothing there because, again, this is my first guess. So I'm going to guess one of my standard Wordle words when I play the game Wordle, which I tend to do a lot. And I'm going to guess a 5-letter word that I often start with there, and that is stare, S-T-A-R-E. And I can type this or Braille this in contracted Braille, and it will show up.
Dots 3, 4, dots 3, E.
So now I have the word stare, and it's there in contracted Braille, but it will work just fine. I'm going to use Enter to enter that guess or submit that guess.
S absent. T present. Absent. R absent. E present.
So speech just told me what was absent and present, but in Braille, there is a really good way to tell. So the S, which is absent, has nothing around it or above it or below it. The T, which is present, and that means it's there, but it's not in the right place. It has a line above and below it to signify that. The A has nothing because it's absent. The R has nothing because it's absent. And the E has a line above and below it. So it's telling me that that's correct, or it's in the word, but it's in the wrong place. And then at the bottom, I have guest, and then I have ARS. And it's showing that in contracted Braille because that's how I have Braille set.
5 letters max absent characters. A, R, S, present characters. E, T, edit box. Press enter.
And so when I push enter to submit my next guess, the speech told me that. And I also have that information in Braille. It shows me what characters are present and what characters are absent. So it reminds me what not to use. So I'm going to try a new word, and I'm going to try the word fleet because I feel like there might be 2 E's in this word. I'm not sure, but that will also help me place the E. So I'm going to try fleet,
F-L-E-E-T.
And I'm going to use enter to submit that.
F present. L absent. E correct. E absent. T correct.
So that gave me the E and the T correct. And I know that in Braille because they're now inside a square of raised lines. So those are correctly placed. And the F is present, but it's not in the right place. So I think I might know what this word is. And then I have the my letters that are absent. A, L, R, and S are not in the word at all. So I'm going to use enter to guess again.
5 letters max absent characters. A, L, R, S, present characters. E, F, T, edit box. Press enter.
And I'm going to try the word theft, T-H-E-F-T, because
That's 2,
sometimes
3,
there
F,
are 2
T.
of a different letter, and I hadn't tried 2 T's before. I'd only tried 2 E's. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to use enter to submit this.
Theft. Game over. You guessed it. The word is theft. Guessed in 3 tries, okay?
So I got the word, and it gave me a little sound, it gave me some haptic feedback, and it told me in speech that I got it. Now I'm going to go into the stats just to show you what those are like. So I'm going to point to the ST in stats, and I'm going to double tap
Stats button.
my action button, and it for some reason did not activate it. Focused there, but I'm going to hit enter now.
Statistics. Current words.
So now I'm on the top line of the statistics, and it says current words, and I have played twice. It says my win percentage is 100%, current streak is 2, max streak is 2, and then it has my guess distribution, which will show me how many times I guessed the word in different amounts of tries. And then it lets me do, then it gives me statistics for the previous words of the day, which I haven't played yet. So I've got 0% and current streak of 0. And if I pan,
max streak 0.
It also gives me dictionary 5 words, which again, I haven't played them, or dictionary 4 words. So I've got statistics on all of the different types of 0%. Games. So those are the statistics, and you can actually share those with your contacts by email, which is kind of fun if you want to share with friends who also play Wordstock. So that is a little bit about the Wordstock app, and I hope you enjoy playing it as much as I do. This has been a Monarch Snapshot video from your friends at Humanware and APH.